I never thought a single question could destroy everything we built, everything I thought we had. It wasn't shouted in anger or thrown like an accusation. It came out soft, almost casual, as we sat across from each other at the kitchen table, the dim light flickering against his tired eyes. "How many?" Daniel asked. At first, I didn't even know what he meant. His voice was steady, but his hands were clenched into fists, knuckles pale against the wood. "How many what?" I whispered. He stared at me, his jaw tightening. "How many men, Emily? Before me?" The words made the air in the room feel heavy, thick with something unsaid. I had always avoided this conversation. We both had. I believed in leaving the past where it belonged, and Daniel had never pushed. Till now. I swallowed hard, my mind racing. Part of me wanted to lie, to offer a number that wouldn't scratch his pride or make him see me differently. But we promised each other honesty from the start. Brutal, uncomfortable honesty. So I told him. I told him everything. And the moment the words left my lips, I saw something break inside him. His face didn't twist with rage. He didn't yell. He just sat there, staring at me as though I was a stranger. A muscle twitched in his cheek, and then he stood up. "I need some air," he said flatly. The front door closed behind him, and I thought he'd come back after a walk. He didn't. The weeks before. Looking back, I should have seen the cracks forming. Daniel had been distant. Late nights at work, quiet dinners, scrolling his phone when I tried to talk. But I chalked it up to stress. We'd been married 3 years, together for 5. Couples go through phases, right? Except this wasn't just a phase. Something had been gnawing at him, and I never asked what. Then that night the question came, and my answer lit the fuse. I replayed it in my mind 1,000 times. Was it too high for him? Did he think I was someone else? Someone purer, untouched? We met when I was 27. I'd had a life before him. Messy one, yes. Few bad choices, yes. But I loved him. Chose him. Wasn't that what mattered? The silence. Daniel didn't come home that night. Or the next. He texted once. "Need time." I didn't know where he was. Hotel, friend's couch, maybe even his brother's place 2 towns over. But the silence was worse than any shouting match. It was a slow suffocation. Then, 3 days later, a friend sent me a photo. Daniel at a bar. Not drunk. Not wild. Just sitting there with a glass of whiskey, staring into nothing. I wanted to go to him. I wanted to explain, to say that the past didn't erase the life we built. But something told me this wasn't really about the number. The real reason. When Daniel finally came back, he didn't bring a suitcase. Just a box. Box of letters. "I found these," he said, placing them on the table. Inside were old emails I'd forgotten existed. Printed, highlighted. Words I wrote years before him. To an ex, things I said in the haze of a toxic, chaotic fling. Things I was not proud of. "I didn't snoop," he said coldly. "Your email was open on the tablet." Click. Then I couldn't stop. I felt my chest tighten. This wasn't about my body count. Not really. It was about what those numbers meant to him. That I had lived, loved, maybe even degraded myself in ways he couldn't unsee. "You said you wanted honesty," I whispered. "I did," he said, voice shaking. "But you didn't give me the full truth, Emily." "Not really. You painted yourself as the girl who made a few mistakes. You never told me about this." I looked down at the letters. Messy, desperate, raw. A version of me I had buried. "I'm not that person anymore," I said. "I chose you. I've been faithful. Doesn't that matter?" Daniel's eyes softened for a moment, then hardened again. "It should. But I can't unknow what I know." The betrayal beneath it. That night, I learned something I wasn't prepared for. Daniel had built a version of me in his head. Pure enough. Flawed, yes, but not too flawed. And when the truth clashed with the fantasy, he didn't know how to love what was real. He told me he felt betrayed. Not because I cheated, but because I let him build a future on an illusion. You hid the ugliest parts of your past, he said. Now every time I look at you, I wonder who else saw you the way I do. Who touched you? Who made you say those things? Do you think I ask you the same? I snapped, tears stinging my eyes. Do you think I care how many women you had before me? I don't. Because I know who you are now. But I do care, he whispered. And that was it. The leaving. He didn't storm out that night. No, that would have been easier. He stayed a few days. Silent, distant, sleeping on the couch. I tried to cook his favorite meals, tried to talk, tried to touch his hand. He flinched every time. Then one morning, I woke up to the sound of drawers closing and zippers. Where will you go? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. I don't know, he said, not looking at me. But I can't stay here. Every time I close my eyes, I see them. All of them. Daniel, please, I begged. You're punishing me for something I can't change. I was honest. Isn't that what you wanted? He stopped at the door. For a second I thought he might turn around. But he didn't. He walked out, and this time, it was forever. Echoes after. Weeks passed. Friends took sides. Some called him insecure. Others called me reckless. My mother said I should have lied. That some truths don't save marriages, they shatter them. I checked my phone every night, hoping for a message. Nothing came. I saw him once, months later, at a cafe downtown. He looked lighter, thinner, a little older but lighter. There was a woman with him, laughing at something he said. Eyes met. He gave me a polite nod, nothing more. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering if he ever truly loved me, or the version of me he wanted to believe in. The lesson I learned. People say honesty is the foundation of love. I believed that. Still do mostly. But honesty is a double-edged blade. It cuts both ways. Daniel asked a question because he thought he could handle the answer. I answered because I thought love meant never hiding. And somewhere between those two beliefs, we lost each other. Would I change what I said? Maybe not. But I would have asked him something first. Do you really want to know, or do you just want the comfort of thinking you know? Because sometimes the truth isn't a bridge. It's a match. And once it's lit, the only thing left between you is ashes. Daniel never came back. I heard through mutual friends that he moved to another city, started over. I stayed here, in the apartment where everything ended, for a long time. Not because I was waiting, but because I had to relearn who I was, without the weight of someone else's expectations. I still believe in love. I still believe in honesty. But now, I ask more questions before I answer them. Because sometimes the truth doesn't set you free. It sets the other person free. And leaves you standing in the wreckage, wondering what was ever real.